Great. So we hope you had a chance to get to know a few new people during that exercise, and we're really excited about um, sharing what we're calling the Big Three Reveal. And as we looked at this year's conference and wanted to give our members an opportunity to dig into some solutions, some problems, and then creating some solutions, we're really excited about what these big three challenges would reveal. We sent out the email to our members to get some detail back about what are your biggest challenges. Then we took those themes and presented those to the membership and had over 100 responses from those of you who will be attending the conference. So really excited about all that. And I'm pleased to share the big three through our president-elect, Mike Nevergall. So Mike has agreed to present these questions that we will be tackling and wrestling with while we're at the Faith and Fundraising Conference at the end of this month. So Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Great, thanks, Lori. Hello, everybody. And thanks to everybody who participated in the survey. We're really excited about the opportunity to take this kind of new, different approach of these innovation rooms and really kind of tackling some big challenges together as a group and being able to come out of the conference with some tangible, applicable solutions to take back with us to our various organizations and institutions. So without further ado, let's reveal the big three challenges that we'll tackle together in Milwaukee. Are we going to have a slide, or should I just read them?
Yes, Abby. Well, I think she was going to. Yeah, Mike, if you have them in front of you, go ahead and reveal them, and Abby will get them.
Let me pull them up here 1 second.
Okay.
So question number 1 is, how can we honor our faith missions in a climate of donor distrust and social divisiveness? Question number 2 is, in the face of generational differences and an aging donor base, how can we appeal to multiple generations? And question number 3, how can we be most effective, impactful, and meet the high expectations of our work when we work with limited resources?
Great, and here they are. This is a great review.
Fun to get a sneak preview. We get to see behind the curtain ahead of time.
So the 3 questions, I think in the way in which we're framing it, how can we, certainly implies that there are solutions to the challenges. And that's a big takeaway piece of this for sure. I think that I'm really curious to know what your gut reaction is after you've heard Mike share the list of questions and the challenges, and then look at them on the screen. Hopefully we can take some time to figure out how you can share with one another what your gut reactions are. So it'd be great to take 5 minutes or so and do that. Let's see, where is Abby?
So I'm here. What I just wanted to do was pop those questions so you have them in front of you still into the chat. So you should carry that into your breakout groups. And then I think what we're going to do is do one more round of breakouts. You might be with a different set of people to get a chance just to share your gut reactions. Do those challenges resonate with you? Are they the ones that you voted for? Overall, kind of what are your thoughts? And we're going to have about 5 people in each room and leave you there for about 15 minutes. So you each get a couple minutes to kind of discuss your gut reactions and take that conversation where it wants to go. Does that sound good, Lori?
Sounds great. Thanks, Abby.
Great. And again, we're on the model of Zoom picks who you're in the room with. So hopefully you get mixed up with some people you don't know. All right. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you got to meet some new people. I'm curious, were there any particular things that were coming up in your conversations that might be interesting to highlight for the whole group here? We could take a couple thoughts to throw out to the whole group.
Yeah, Abby, this is Joe. One of the things that came out of our group that I hadn't thought about, but was really fascinating was a portion of the aging database. Oftentimes, our first thoughts are going to how do we connect with these folks as well as segment for other ones. How do you implement technological things to make it easier, which is where my mind would have gone. And one of the members in our group, I saw it from a different perspective, and I think it's a good one. And that is from an aging database and having major gifts discussions about philanthropic, the culture of philanthropy on family generational wealth or the handing down through families, and really thinking about an aging population within your own demographic or database, and to really engage with families in a much more collaborative and deeper way as a partner, as opposed to this, I'm the nonprofit and you're my donor. And I thought that was really fascinating. It was one of the bigger parts of our discussion.
Great, thanks. Anybody else have something they would share from their discussion?
I would.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm new to this here. I would say the thing that came out of our discussion that was hopeful was that as we continue to fundraise and seek donors, the impact, the one-to-one with people really brings people hope. We're bringing messages of hope, and that without that, why give to some organization that has had a troubled past or has issues or whatever. But if we continue to bring hope, and it continues to move us forward, and everybody wants to be part of hope. So
Thank you, Beth. That's great. One or two more interested in sharing with the whole group? I know there's a lot of us here and a lot of different conversations going on, but maybe you guys all agreed to what happens in the breakout room stays in the breakout room. If you have anything you're willing to share, we'd love to hear a couple more pieces.
I'll share one thing, which is in our group, we were just so thankful that we're getting together. What a wonderful thing to be able to do that we haven't been able to do, so we were all just thankful to ALDE and to the CDC for moving forward with it, because it's going to be awesome. Very excited.
Great, thanks, David.
It's also great to see. I just went into gallery view, and we have a solid 75 people on this call. That's what is that? Almost a quarter of what the conference is going to be like, right? And so it's great to see people kind of revving up 3 weeks ahead. It's fantastic.
It is great. It's great to see everybody here. We're really excited to have you here in this chance just to meet people. Maybe we'll recognize a few of ourselves, of each other as we arrive in Milwaukee. And we wanted to just introduce this idea of the big three challenges. It's a new approach. We're doing all the wonderful usual things with fabulous keynote speakers and really educational breakout sessions. And we wanted to weave through these conversations of what are the big three challenges that we're facing right now. So we do have in Milwaukee, on the same floor as the main hall and the exhibit hall, 3 rooms. Each will be dedicated to tackling one of these problems and addressing one of these challenges, and really looking for innovations and solutions and ideas together, so that by the end of our time together, we can have some recommendations for each other, some thoughts, maybe some next steps, maybe some future programming. We can see what comes out of it, but really to take some concentrated time together to look at that. And we'll have some specific time blocks where we're really inviting you and encouraging you to engage with those rooms and to tackle one of those problems. You might choose to really focus on one over the course of those days. You might choose to pop in and out of those rooms and jump in on the conversations as you're able to. And hopefully this helps even our lunchtime or some of our hallway conversations address these problems and really work together on them. So thank you to everybody who helped form and identify those big three challenges. There were a lot of conversations, a lot of surveys, and a lot of voting going on. So we're really excited about that part of it. We do want to leave plenty of time for Q&A, which we're looking at 15 minutes left on our clock right now. So we could open it up just for Q&A. We have some announcements we can wrap up with, but do you have pressing questions that you're looking for answers for about the upcoming conference? And if you feel shy to speak, you can either, you can either raise your hand if you want to do that. You can unmute yourself and just start talking. If you're feeling particularly shy, you can, or introverted, as we want to welcome everybody, you can put them in the chat, and we'll try and keep track of that too. So thank you to those of you who raised your hands, and I'm going to look and see who we've got here. Maureen, why don't you come on?
Is there going to be an app associated with the conference that we have to download before we come onto the property or anything? I know some conferences do that, and I want to make sure I do that while I'm on Wi-Fi.
Yes, great question, and we definitely will. ALDE has used it in the past. It's called Huva, and people here can vouch for it and have had a good experience. We've been setting up. We'll send an email out to all participants in the next, let's say definitely within the next week, so that you'll be able to link to that, download it, and see that. Go ahead, Lori.
I was just going to say, you can keep track of your schedule, and you can make connections on the app. You can save your own personal agenda. You can see all the session descriptions. We really count on you to provide evaluations so that our breakout session speakers have an opportunity to see how things went for their session. And we've changed the structure this year to be 90 minutes instead of 45 to 50. So all of those pieces are included in the app. The hotel maps are there. You'll be able to see the floor plan. You can connect with exhibitors. You can connect with other attendees. So as Abby said, ALDE has been using it for about 3 or 4 years, which gave us some time to figure out how valuable it was to not have to have a paper program, and we can change things up on the fly. So it's really slick, and we'll, as Abby said, we'll get in touch with you with more details about how to connect to that.
Brian, did you have a question?
Yes, I'm one of the facilitators of one of those rooms, and I'd love it if people could type in the chat, maybe like, what's the 1 or 2 things you most want to see happen in terms of flow or format, because it's still sort of wet clay in terms of what we're going to do. Or type in there if you're like, if it's like this, I don't want to be there. So what would make it best for you? What are you really hoping that will happen? And maybe the opposite of that as well. So I know we don't have opportunity to have a discussion about that, but because we're still developing that, it'd be great to hear what you're thinking about.
Great
Or
point, Brian.
email us later.
I was just going to say the same thing. We will have a transcript of the chat, so we can pull out anything that you put in there. We will find again, and then we can also put our emails in. See, I'm doing it right now. Who else has questions?
Will there be a tutorial for the app that helps us technically challenged people?
That is a great idea, and I'm going to say yes. Let's plan on that just before the opening session. So kickoff opening session is at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. Let's plan on even 4 o'clock or 4:30 right at the registration table, having people who can help each other figure out the app, make sure it's downloaded, see how to use it. So we're going to put that on the schedule right now. Thank you, Trey.
Great.
Oh, thank you.
What's the schedule for the exhibit hall?
Lori, I'm going to tag you on this one.
Yeah, so Tuesday is the day that most attendees will be registering, and exhibitors setup is from 10 o'clock until 4. Then the exhibit hall will be open at 4 for a few hours. And that evening is our opening reception, our welcome reception. We're going to be having a tailgate theme. You're all invited to wear your favorite jersey. We're going to have Bernie, the Brewers mascot, Bernie. And we're going to have 2 racing sausages and great opportunities for photo ops. And so we have a lot of things planned for that evening, but there's some free time, which is between 7 and 8. So we're hoping our exhibitors will be present. We'll have cash bars in the exhibitor space. So there is going to be movement and activity. So that Tuesday is a little bit fluid with a few hours, but spaced in between opening worship and the first keynote. And then the following 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, where our exhibitor hours will be 9:30 until 4 p.m. So we have not sent out the detail yet to the exhibitors. So all of this is new information. Thanks for asking the question.
And we'll reiterate it again. If you're a speaker, you would have gotten a lot of long logistics email in the past day or two. If you didn't, reach out to us. If you're an exhibitor, you will get your very long, full of logistics information email in the next day or two. And if you're an attendee, that will come out very soon also. A question that was in the chat was that people are downloading the app but can't find the conference. John, can you type in the chat what to look for? Otherwise, if you can't find it, we will send a specific link to get the conference. So if you download Whova, all right, John is answering, saying you won't be able to find it yet. That's why. So as soon as we send the link, we'll take it live and you'll be able to find it.
And we want to make sure we have all the information in there before we open it up, because then there's just going to be a slew of questions. So we're within days of doing that so that we have everything. Great question.
What else?
I'll share briefly that we have 277 attendees registered to attend. And CDC and ALDE, we continue to get registrations. Registration is open. Our hotel overnight room reservations, that cutoff date is not until the 11th of February. And in fact, we're the only conference in the hotel. So they're likely going to continue to extend that. So as you interact with colleagues and others who may be interested, we are excited about last minute registrations and happy to take them. We have plenty of room.
Both Lori and I have had conversations in the past few days with people who have said, oh, I was definitely planning on attending, just waiting to make sure it's happening, waiting to make sure, it's a green light before I register. So definitely talk it up within your communities. There are probably if we've talked to 4 people between the 2 of us, there's probably other people out there, just to remind them, now's the time. And we are going forward. And it feels like we're going to be in a pretty safe spot as far as we can be these days. It's happening. Exactly right.
Yes, that's right. And I'll also say that the city of Milwaukee has been very welcoming. It's wonderful to work with. They're making banners for the airport to welcome people in on Tuesday, and banners for the hotel, and providing a lot of giveaways for us to include in your welcome bags. So we're really pleased about that. And we're excited to announce too that Wednesday evening, we're going to have a trivia night. And we've never done that before, but we're going to give it a whirl this year and see how it goes. And so Wednesday night, the free night from 8:30 to 10, you'll be able to convene. We'll have an amazing trivia master who will be there to lead us. And another opportunity to engage and connect with one another. So we're excited about that too.
It can be as competitive as we'd like it to be.
And we have prizes. We have prizes at trivia.
Oh, then I guess it's going to be very competitive.
Yeah.
I had a couple of things before, as we're wrapping up, and then can get more questions. I wanted to remind everybody that we do have 2 really fabulous masterclass offerings that still have some availability in them. We are offering them at only $99, which is actually a really great rate. We discounted it a bit as an incentive and then have just kept it there given everybody's decision-making processes. But it's a 4-hour masterclass with some really fabulous instructors, and it does include lunch. And that will be Tuesday before the conference from noon to 4 p.m. And you can choose between participating either with Leading Through Change with Gary Hubble or a fundraising foundations masterclass with two of the facilitators from Philanthropy and Fundraising North America, Kyla Scheuer and Tina Hudgens. Both really fabulous masterclasses. So we'd love to have as many of you join us for a masterclass. Lori mentioned the tailgate party as our opening reception, and to bring your favorite sports team, a jersey for your favorite sports team. So we're looking forward to seeing lots of different teams represented. And then for those of you, the CDC has a history of having a large mailers gathering, which we've been doing virtually also, and welcome people to join. To be part of the large mailers, we ask you to be from a nonprofit organization and to mail over 1 million pieces a year. So it's really the large mailers. It's a particular language and experiences that those really massive mailers have. We're going to do that pre-conference, 3:30 to 4:30 on Tuesday. So open to everybody. We'd love to have you there if you are one of those large mailers. And then hotel room, I know Lori mentioned also, the part that I'd piggyback on is I know a couple of people have had glitches trying to get the rate. And the rate for the hotel room should be $104 per night. That's what they've guaranteed. And for whatever reason, the system is sometimes kicking it back out as being sold out or not available anymore. So if that happens, let us know and we can get that corrected for you. Sometimes people have made the reservation anyway at the other rate and then we correct it, but whatever works best for you. So just make sure you get that good rate.
And I'll also share that I just flew into Milwaukee. We were there for 2 days to set up all the room arrangements and meals and everything. So John and I were able to walk through the property, and we were calling Abby about every hour to check in on one thing or another. But I'll share with you that I took an Uber from the airport to the hotel. It was $21 for an Uber X, which was great. It took about 15 minutes. And if you're driving, our overnight parking rate is $4 for overnight parking. Their rate that they charge everyone else is $28 a day. So we're excited to be able to offer some affordability pieces that will hopefully make it easy for you to get there and easy for you to get home.
And Trish also asked a great question in the chat about volunteer opportunities. And yes, when we send out that email to all attendees, we will have some opportunities for people to help with registration, help host breakout rooms. Lori, are there others that you would highlight at this point for people to keep an eye out for?
I think just directional as people are coming into the hotel. Registration is on one level, and then our check-in is on a different level for the hotel. So everything's not incredibly simple. So we're going to need some people to help us directionally. And then of course, just engaging with those to encourage folks to come into the innovation rooms so that they can be a part of the solution generation. That's another key component of the volunteer. And
then Lori, do you know this one? Parking, I know there's a $4 rate in the parking lot, which is attached to the hotel. Is that available for people coming in just for the day or only for people staying overnight at the hotel?
That's a good question. I'll have to find out.
We'll talk to them about getting that rate. Thanks, Kelly.
Yes.
Joe, you're looking for the Amtrak station. I think I walked past it when I was in Milwaukee visiting. So anybody from Milwaukee have the Amtrak station to the airport?
The Amtrak station is, or the train station is right next to the airport. It's just west of the airport. So basically the same Uber that would get you from the airport downtown may cost, I don't know, because it's like across the street from the airport. So it could cost you a couple extra dollars, but it's not far.
And so I see some more great questions about transportation and airport shuttle available. If anybody knows, let us know. Otherwise, we can work on compiling a little bit more of these logistics and getting them back out to everybody. I actually flew into Chicago when I flew in, and Lori and I drove up together. So that's
Yes.
always an option too.
The other thing that I'd like to share just in terms of lifting up the work of the volunteers is Abby and I convened our joint committees end of August, beginning of September. So we've really done in 4 to 5 months what typically takes a year to do. So I think that we just have to lift up the volunteers who were able to pull that together and figure out how we can best move forward in the most expedient way as possible. And just congratulations to all of you.
Thank you to all the volunteers who have already done a really big lift. So thank you all. It's 4 o'clock. We've really enjoyed having you all here for our time flies for our meet and greet, I feel like. And we really look forward to seeing you in just a couple of weeks in Milwaukee. If you want to take yourself off mute, if you want to throw anything else in the chat, we're here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank you so much.
The meeting.
Thank